Before you actually transfer your local files to a remote server so you can share your website with the world, you may want to locate and purchase a domain name as well as your web hosting. A domain name is the name starting with the www that visitors will type into their browsers to find you. For example, my domain names are geek-school.com and geekmanuals.com. A domain name is unique to your site and is the name visitors will type into their browsers to find your website. Only one site can use a domain name at a time, and that's why you'll quickly discover that all the best names are probably already taken. Now, it's not mandatory that you purchase a domain name. Many web hosting providers will let you use their domain name, such as this domain name here, www.godaddy.com/Gonzalez500. This is perhaps why my students often confuse their domain name registrar with the company hosting their websites. Many hosting providers will let you use their domain names, although you can register your domain name with the same company that is hosting your website. The two processes are separate and you don't have to use the same company. I would again search around for the best deal and the best price for you, although you do not have to secure your own domain name, and one is not needed for this course. Notice that if you do use a domain name of your host, these are usually hard to type and even harder to share with your potential customers. So if getting traffic to your website is important, you want to find and purchase a good domain name. Also, securing a domain name containing your keyword phrases, or at least some of them, will give your site a big boost in the search engines. In fact, there are two reasons why your choice of a domain name is so important. First is that search engines assume the domain name is relevant to keywords contained in the name and will give you a boost in their rankings. Having your keywords in your domain name will improve your rankings for queries including those keyword phrases. And second, domain names help your human visitors see at a glance what your website is all about. Remember that most human visitors are surfing and linking quite quickly from site to site. They don't often have time to read your site's content. Instead, they'll look at your domain name, or perhaps your domain name and your page title, to determine whether they want to stay on your site and consume more of your content. There are a number of services that make it easy and also fun to search for available domain names. Enter domain name registration into Google and you'll find a handful of them. Search around for the best prices. Here are some websites that I've used or my students have used to locate and purchase domain names. When researching available domain names, don't rule out names containing dashes, especially if your desired name is already taken. In my case, Geek School, all one word, was not available, so I was able to locate Geek-School. In some cases, domain names containing these dashes sometimes actually fare better in the search results than those without. Also, it's usually easier to find available domain names containing your keywords if you use dashes. And in some cases, like mine here, I think it's actually easier to read the name when there is a dash separating my keywords. So this domain name is pretty good if you're a dentist in New York, www.new-york-dentist.com, or the second one if you're a tour outfitter in New Zealand, new-zealand-bike-adventures.com. Now, if your desired domain name is already taken in the .com variety, you may also want to check to see if the .net or the .org version is available. Other possibilities include .us, .br, .fr for France or Brazil or Canada. I think Canada is CA, or .biz or .tv. These names are not as good for branding purposes since most people tend to remember them all as .coms. However, search engines treat all of these varieties equally. The most important thing to consider when searching for an available domain name is to find names containing your most important keywords. This way your keywords appear directly in your site's URL. If using multiple keywords, place the most important keywords first. Domain names can be registered with up to 63 characters, including both the www and the .com parts. With this in mind, a lawyer specializing in family law in Las Vegas might consider registering this name, www.familylawyer.lasvegas.com, with dashes in between each keyword, or even Family Law Legal Services Las-Vegas.com with dashes in between each word. Although this last domain name looks pretty long, it's actually only 43 characters in length, well below the 63 character maximum. Also, remember to register all possible keyword combinations, making them available to you, but also effectively preventing your competition from using them. One last thing on this topic. If your company name is your domain name like mine, www.geekmanuals.com, that's fine, but you should also consider all relevant keyword-rich domain names pertaining to your goods or services. This will give you the option of setting up specialized sites that are more visible to the search engines and directories. That's why I have two websites, Geek Manuals and Geek School, to differentiate between my manuals that I create and my courses that I deliver. Now, once you've come up with some potential domain names, registering them is a simple two-step process. First, check their availability, and then pay the registration firm to register it. Registration will last 2 years. Prices and services vary, so you'll want to shop around for the best deals.